मीठा दम वो देश के कोने कोने से हमारे बीच में आ चुके हैं, वो यहाँ मौजूद हैं. So cameraman, it's time to get your focus going. For the still photographers, well, it's time to uncap your lenses. And we're about to unleash your way. The Yodhas who made their way towards this wonderful grand occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करेंगे भारत की आन, मान और शान, the cricketers who represent India in the highest format of the game. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Pujara, Siraj, Vihari, and Ashwin. Give it up for them. That's a lot of voting, and that's a lot of good voting at that. वेलकम करते हैं हमारे योद्धाओं को जिन बंदों में था दम. Thank you guys for coming out here, and of course a lot of them were saying, you know, that the arena we are comfortable with is in the ground. So Jinx, we have created the ground atmosphere only for you out here. The voting is on, the hairdo is also on. वो लाल बंदे को देख लीजिए वहाँ पर, और काफी यहाँ चिल्ला रहे हैं लोग. So we're keeping you comfortable. How are you feeling today? बहुत टाइम होगा सर फोटो ऑप के लिए, बहुत सारा टाइम होगा. लेते रहिए, चलिए ठीक है, लेते रहिए.
नहीं मार्क दिया सर, रियली खड़े रहे.
नहीं, रवि बहुत पक्के हैं, रविचंद्र जी बहुत पक्के हैं अपने मार्क के.
जैसे मांग रहे हैं
जी, करेक्ट करेक्ट.
फीलिंग रियली गुड. फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, ग्राउंड में जितना ज़्यादा, ग्राउंड में इससे कम नर्वस होता है, यहाँ पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा नर्वस है हम लोग. बट या रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू दिस डॉक्यूमेंट्री. एंड ग्राउंड पे तो पता है हमें क्या होगा, बट यहाँ पे स्क्रीन पर क्या होगा अभी अब तक हमें पता नहीं. सो वी आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट.
And all of you have obviously given your piece to camera. We've talked about the entire experience you had in that crazy, wonderful series. I mean, you've not seen the trailer yet. What are you expecting of it?
Genuinely, you're making me feel like an actor now. Like after finishing the movie and then going and seeing the movie.
Well, it is your debut on the OTT platform in some way as well, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of. I'd like to think so, but I'm glad I've come out with my friends. My best friend Puji is here. Both of us have made an appearance in the documentary, and I'm sure he's spoken a lot of good things about me. Look forward to it.
He's only spoken about you. There's so much bromance going on between the both of them. If he could get you an insight into what's happening at the back and the chats that are going on between Puji and Ashwin, that will make a whole different kind of a series, sir. Neeraj sir, you must consider this as your, Neeraj sir, you must consider next series between the bromance of Puji and Ravichandra Ashwin.
We've got about 40 minutes of footage of Pujara talking about Ashwin.
Wow, there you go.
Is that enough?
I think he's got more. He can definitely do better, but I think him being him, I think 40 is a lot.
No, but there are seasons also, not only season 2.
No, we had this recent series I saw, so I think we can do an 8 episodes. Up to you.
Noted.
Right. Prasad, when I guess the stage is set, our Yodhas are here. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you guys for being with us today. I know some of you, or maybe all of you, haven't seen the trailer as yet. and it's going to shock you. I'm pretty sure it's going to bring back a lot of emotions. So without any further ado, in a good way, without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Neeraj to
Let's see the trailer. Let's see the trailer.
If you guys
Requesting you all to come to that side and this side. Alright, here it is, folks, presenting the trailer for Bandho Meghadam for the very first time. Here it is, on your screen.
एक बैट्समैन है ना दूसरा बैट्समैन है जो भी कोई बैट्समैन खेल रहा है ऑल एंड हो रहा है आई डोंट थिंक वो मोमेंट मैं कभी भूल सकता हूँ रन आउट जो इंसिडेंट हुआ मेगा और विराट के बीच 36 ऑल आउट एवरीथिंग वाज अगेंस्ट अस
To go that Indian team out for 36 was pretty amazing.
तो बुरा सपना था
ऐसे प्रेडिक्शन दे इंडिया विल लूज 4-0
That's nasty.
Virat is going after this test match and this Indian team will be steamrolled.
What now? Can this Indian team really pick themselves up?
They're gone here.
मोहम्मद शमी got injured उमेश यादव got injured जडेजा बिहारी
मतलब कोई है नहीं फिर इसके बाद हम लोग जीतेंगे कैसे
When you put your country above all the things, that is something you play for.
Believe we celebrate a victory, but we were celebrating a draw.
मैं तो यही सोचा था कि टाइम पे डैड होते तो कितना खुश होते थे
Indians tend to be very good when their backs are to the wall and they're fighting to not lose face.
we are playing for our country
His first fight.
and we are going to give our best and our series starts from now the way we bowled especially with young guns young unit was really something special
Indian team who are hard to beat.
There it is, folks. Round of applause for Bandho Meghadam. Request all of us to please come to the center of the stage once again. Please, Neeraj sir, please come in. I mean, that's just amazing. You could sense by the reaction and just like reliving the entire thing, sir. It's looking fabulous. It's looking amazing. Want to get the first-hand reaction? How are you feeling, Puji? How are you feeling after watching that?
First of all, very good evening to everyone. It's amazing. I think it couldn't have been better than this. As players, the way we performed over there, I think after that, the way we shared our story and the execution part over here, it's thrilling.
सिराज जी बहुत इमोशनल आदमी है, हंसते भी बहुत जल्दी हैं, रोते भी बहुत जल्दी हैं और बहुत प्यारे हैं. आपको कैसा लगा ये प्रोमो देख के?
सबको गुड इवनिंग और बहुत ही अच्छा लगा ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री जैसा बनी जो वहाँ पर जाके मतलब हम लोग इतना करे तो एक लाइक मतलब सबको कॉन्फिडेंट मिला कि जो हम लोग सीरीज जीत के आए तो बहुत ही अच्छा लगा और कॉन्फिडेंट भी दिख रहा है ये चीज़ से तो थैंक यू ऑल
Thank you.
But thank you for making us so proud. And हनुमान आपसे भी पूछना चाहेंगे कैसा लगा आपको? How did you feel by watching that? Does it make you relive all those memories that have been etched in our minds?
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the best series India has ever played, and to see again to relive those memories it's been amazing. And the trailer looks good, and I'm really waiting for June 16th.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to be having a wonderful chat with our cricketers. Once again, a round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it brings back a lot of emotions to us, but it was them who withstood the storm. Prasad, thank you so much for being on stage with us. We're going to have a nice chat with the cricketers. We'll join you in just a bit when you can come back for a nice photo op. Can we have the chairs, please? We're going to get the chairs on stage. आने लीजिए, फोटो लेकर लीजिए, कुर्सियां लगते रहेंगी पीछे. इसके the chairs for everybody, please. Yeah. पर बड़ा प्यार मोहब्बत से बोलेंगे, हाँ? चलाएंगे नहीं, प्यार से. So please, can you go and for a picture? Alright, please guys, grab a seat. यहाँ पर आए हैं इस मंच पे थोड़ी बातचीत होगी. We'll try reliving those moments. Sir, please grab a seat. Please grab a seat, sir. No, please sit here. Please sit, sir. They'll get a chair for me, don't worry. There's one more chair that side. We can all sit. Just grab a seat. Wherever. In the meantime, when they get me a chair, I'll do my cardio for the day. Oh, they have a chair for me as well. Lovely. Well, to start off with, the champions of that series are here with us, and we're going to be asking them questions about, what went on there. But before that, from a director's perspective, sir, you're such a wonderful master teller of stories. The layers in which you work in your movies. When you look at this entire incident as a script, as a narrative about the ups and downs of what happened, backs against the wall, coming back, players getting injured. How difficult was it for you to put it together as a series that people could relive it all over again?
So I'll tell you the origin story of this one. It's pretty interesting. This was the third test when you guys were on the field, and the last day when Ashwin and Vihari, they were slogging it out, taking blows and stuff like that. And when you guys managed to draw that test, Sudeep, can you raise your hand over there? Yeah, Sudeep. Essentially, he's one of the producers. He came and said that this is a great story. And I just impulsively replied, no, the great story will happen if they win the fourth test. And no one had a clue. I'm sure that you guys were also clueless about what's going to unfold. But that, in a way, was the origin point of the story. So the fourth test happened, and the very next day he was making calls to everyone and trying to figure out how to piece this together.
But you have a long-lasting love for cricket, and tell us a bit about that.
Well, everyone loves cricket, I guess, in some way or the other. I find these stories fascinating, more than the fact that, okay, cricket pe kuch banana hai, I don't go by that, but this particular milestone, I think that's needed to be documented in some way or the other. And I'm happy that we partnered with Vote on this one and had this incredible journey.
We're looking forward to the 4-part series, sir.
Thank you.
Let's talk to Kaptan from the series, Rahane ji. Let's just talk about the fact that, we were having a laugh with this when we were shooting for some content in the other room about the team coming into his hands when they were 36 all out in that first test, and Virat had to leave, and he obviously knew that he had to leave. But that must have been a very hard situation for you to kind of deal with, to get your head around that, listen, we have our backs against the wall, we can try forgetting about this, but this is the reality. How did you deal with that situation there? What were you really thinking of, and how did you, I know that you got the senior guys together in the team, but what was your mindset then?
First of all, let me thank Neeraj sir for watching that third test match. अगर हम वो मैच नहीं देखते तो वो thought नहीं आता documentary बनाने का.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. But I think talking about Adelaide test match, 36 all out, हमने किसी ने भी नहीं सोचा था. शायद आप लोगों ने भी नहीं सोचा था कि ऐसे सब होगा. हमारा यही था कि अगर हम अच्छा खेलते हैं उस दिन पर तो हम लोग एक अच्छे पोजीशन में आ जाएंगे मैच जीतने के लिए. बट सडनली चीज़ें डिफरेंट हो गई। 1 घंटे में गेम कम्प्लीटली चेंज हो गया और मुझे पता था उससे पहले कि एडलेट के बाद मैं कप्तान होने वाला हूँ, विराट जाने वाले हैं, तो मैंने अपने प्लान्स एज अ लीडर एज अ कैप्टन पहले बनाए थे कि मेरी स्ट्रैटेजीज क्या होंगी। लेकिन एडलेट के बाद कम्प्लीटली मैं पता नहीं चल रहा था कि क्या होगा, मुझे क्या करना है। और पर्सनली मैं रूम पे जाके मैं बैठा था, मैंने सोचा कि अभी यहाँ से मैं टीम को कैसे ऊपर लाऊंगा। बहुत लोग मेरे पर्सनल परफॉर्मेंस के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, मेरा फॉर्म अच्छा बुरा चल रहा था, वो एक चीज़ थी। और उसके बाद मेरा फोकस था कि मैं टीम को कैसे ऊपर लाऊँ वहाँ से। तो हमने एज अ टीम यही डिसाइड किया कि एडलेड में वी विल नॉट टॉक अबाउट क्रिकेट एट ऑल, कि क्या हुआ उस मैच में। विल हैव टीम डिनर, विल हैव टीम एक्टिविटीज, सो दैट हमारा माइंड कम्प्लीटली गेम से दूर जाके हम टीम बॉडी के ऊपर फोकस करें। और जब हम मेलबर्न जाएंगे उसके बाद विल फोकस ऑन क्रिकेट। सो वी डिड दैट। विराट हमने सेंड ऑफ दिया और जा रहे थे वहाँ पर। और जब टू मेलबर्न we had a team meeting and we decided that we are going to focus on playing good cricket. What people are talking about us is not in our control. We just focus on playing good cricket, back each other. And I thought I had a support. Ashwin का मुझे support था, Puji का support था, Rohit was there, Rohit का support था. So I was actually blessed to have these guys with me.
Well, it was remarkable what you pulled off, and of course, scoring that century there was just incredible. Round of applause for Rahane. यहाँ पर आज तालियां कम नहीं होनी चाहिए. Truly, it was incredible. I just to set the text of how tough this was to do. Ashwin, I want to ask you, like just in terms of India, Pakistan, of course, has been this rivalry going on for many years. But just how tough is it? If you could explain to people playing in Australia against the Australians in their home turf, and the entire experience that goes with that.
Generally, tours abroad are never easy for the simple reason that you are going into different conditions. That's something that's not explainable until you go and play. You'll never feel that. But more than that, it's the support of the public. You're playing against the media there. You're playing against the senior players who are going to be backing their teams. It happens a lot, especially in Australia. The people, if you're down, they can make you feel, you're going to be in a lot of trouble for the next few weeks. And that's exactly what happened here in Australia as well. A lot of people might have seen what happened on social media and what sort of comments people had to make. Personally, I don't know how many of the other guys would have read into it, but these things really, sort of give me the necessary motivation to come out and say, okay, boss, you're wrong. We can do it. We are here to do it. But I don't know if it's there as a part of the documentary, but I felt there was a sort of a very external aid that came our way, because we wanted to do it, but at the end of the day, these are these 1%ers that will tell you that this will happen. We won the test in Melbourne. Yes, that was the turnaround. But I don't know how many guys remember here we were on a flight to Sydney. I actually felt, okay, we come back, and this flight was landing in Sydney and we got stuck in a thunder shower. And it was in the midst of a lightning and all that, and the flight was actually going in different directions. I felt, okay, if this is what is destiny, you lose a test for 36, and you come to Melbourne, win a remarkable turnaround test, and then you might not land in Sydney for the third test. That kind of gives you a gist of what life is all about. So the moment I think everything came to settling nerves and we all landed and the Sydney test panned out, there was a lot of backstory to it. But by the time we had come there, I think the resolve of the team had strengthened a lot. And it became the resolve of this Indian team versus anything that was thrown at it. And I could still remember the fact that the team was almost oblivion to anything that was happening, and it was meant to be.
There were turbulent times, and actually there were also turbulent times that you faced, but very nicely conquered behind the stumps, where you provided pain behind the stumps to the pain. Tell us a bit about that. But very quick on the win, I must say, huh? Very quick on the win and how and what you said at that moment, which is define that for us and what really went on.
I think Vihari will remember why I said that as well, because we had a discussion on the way Tim Payne was batting through that series. And I kept telling these guys, and we got a very different sort of a short leg position, which was forward short leg, and then we usually had a leg slip. But we had a chat, Rahane, myself and Vihari, and we said, Pujara, generally you'll stand at leg slip, but this guy won't stand with the helmet, let's put him somewhere else and get this guy under the lid. We had this conversation and parked him there in a very awkward position, and he actually nicked off there. And we had a celebration, and I told Vihari, this guy better not come to India. Because if he actually comes to India, he'll be going there every single time. And at the end of the day, he was having a go at us when we were batting. And it just came out of my mind because we had a conversation like that. It just came out of my mind and it was very instantaneous.
That's what you do to Puji also, when you talk to whatever he says, you come back at him like that, but in a friendly way.
We sledge at each other in the next
all the time. Correct. Now I have to ask Hanuman Vihari, have you forgiven him for making you run on that day with the hamstring gone? Have you forgiven him or not?
Yeah, I did after the innings, but he didn't know that I couldn't run. I couldn't run at all. Even I didn't know at that time. After that run, then I said, I could barely walk. So there's no point of running after that. But that was a lucky escape there. But after all, it ended well. So.
Yeah, you had us all at the edge of our seats, the both of you. You held the fort till the end. It was incredible, that performance by you. और तो मुझे पता चला अभी पहले जो हम ड्रेसिंग रूम में बात कर रहे थे कि हम लोग तो अभी जगह से हिलते नहीं हैं. इनके टीममेट्स भी वहाँ पर अपनी सीट पकड़ के बैठे हुए थे 5-5 घंटे के लिए. Nobody moved, nobody went to the bathroom, as JK was telling us. So the nerves are with us, and the nerves are also with them. So it was absolutely remarkable what happened. Let's talk to the man now who can endure a lot of pain on his body. Who can probably be hit by a truck, who can be hit by an aeroplane, who can be hit by anything in the world, and that's Pujara, who stood tall and said, I'm not going to leave my wicket. If I can't hit it to the bat, I'm going to put my body in there. How badly were you bruised at the end of the matches when you'd walk back into the room? Were there spots all over the body? Tell us your condition at the end of the day.
I think let's just stick to cricket ball, not the trucks and the planes. When I got hit in that particular test match, there were so many bruises. But at the end of the day, when I spoke to my family, when I spoke to my wife, when I spoke to my daughter, they were a little concerned. They were worried that if there was anything serious, and I told them, no, there was nothing serious about it. Yes, I was in a lot of pain, but it was a sweet pain because it was a sweet victory for us. I think probably one of the best test matches I've been part of. So when you get hit on the body, the only thing you can do is not think about it and have a bigger picture. Only thing I had in my mind in that particular test match was to, ensure that we don't lose too many wickets in first and second session. And that was part of our game plan as well. And by the tea time, we didn't lose too many wickets. There was a platform set for Rishabh to come in and play his game. But till then, whenever I was getting hit on my body, I wanted to make sure that we don't lose that test match. Till that time, we were not thinking about the victory. Maybe at tea time, there was another strategy. But before that, we wanted to make sure that we don't lose that particular test match. And when I get hit on the body, I just kept telling myself that, look at the bigger picture. Don't worry about the pain.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Pujara, I want to ask you, how was it to bat with Rishabh Pant on the other side? You both were in different gears, but equally effective. What were you chatting with each other? Were you calming him down, saying that, buddy, calm down, abhi bahut match baki hai?
I try my best to calm him down, but everyone knows that he doesn't listen too much about what the non-striker says. But he has his way of batting. I think he likes to back his instincts and play his shots. So sometimes, yes, I do try and tell him that there are phases where you need to be a little watchful. But apart from that, you just have to allow him to play his game and not try and advise him too much, because whenever we had a good partnership, the lesser I talked, better he has batted. So.
It was like two people poles apart but getting the job done. It was a phenomenal performance by the both of them. बात करते हैं सिराज की. सिराज जी कैसे हैं आप?
बढ़िया एकदम.
इन्होंने बताया भाई कि ये जो हर एक मैच के पहले हैं, इनका सुपरस्टिशन होता है कि अपने बालों को अलग तरीके से ग्रूम करके आते हैं और इतने शानदार लगते हैं. एक बार इनकी परफॉर्मेंस के लिए जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं जिस तरीके से उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया. ये भी किया था और बहुत ही मुश्किल परिस्थितियों में. थोड़ा इमोशनल सवाल है, लेकिन मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा क्योंकि हम वी ऑल फेल्ट what you were going through. बट वो दौर आपके लिए कितना मुश्किल होगा कि यू फाउंड आउट अबाउट योर फादर और आपको जाके फिर मैच खेलना है, जा नहीं पा रहे थे आप. वो दौर बहुत मुश्किल रहा होगा आपके लिए. वी वर ऑल प्रेइंग फॉर यू, बट इफ यू कुड टेल अस अ बिट अबाउट दैट.
बहुत ही मुश्किल था मेरे लिए वो सिचुएशन. तब आईपीएल में भी मेरी डैड की तबीयत बहुत ही ख़राब थी, बट मुझे उतना बता रहे नहीं थे घर में कि इतना सीरियस ना डरे, तो इसलिए मुझे पता नहीं चला. अगर मुझे पता चलता था तभी मैं घर चले जाता था, तो मुझे वो चीज़ पता नहीं चली. तब मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया लैंड हुआ, तब मुझे पता चला कि डैड की बहुत ही सीरियस कंडीशन है. तो तब वो सिचुएशन प्रोटोकॉल था कि कोविड मतलब क्वारंटाइन रहना है, तो जा तो नहीं सकते। देन फिर उसके बाद हम लोग प्रैक्टिस करें, फिर उसी दिन मुझे पता चला कि ऐसा डैड की डेथ हो गई। तो जब कोई आगे एक दूसरे से बात नहीं करता था, क्योंकि जब क्वारंटीन के ऐसे सिचुएशन था, तो दैट टाइम कि मैं मॉम से बात कर रहा था, तो वो टाइम पे मॉम मेरे को इतना स्ट्रांग बना है वो टाइम पे कि एक वुमेंस का पावर कितना रहता, तब पता चला कि वो सिचुएशन में भी अपने बेटे को इतना स्ट्रांग फीलिंग दे रही थी। क्योंकि जब इतना मतलब घर का एक पिलर एक टूटना, मतलब एक स्ट्रांग पिलर जब जाता है तो बहुत ही इफेक्ट पड़ता है। तो वही तो मेरा डैड मॉम यही बोल रहे थे कि जब डैड का ड्रीम था कि अपने देश का नाम रोशन कर और जाके देश का नाम रोशन कर, बस यही था कि मेरा मोटिवेशन कि मैं वहाँ जाऊँ। मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि टू बी ऑनेस्ट कि मुझे चांस भी मिलेगा यहाँ पर खेलना, क्योंकि सीनियर बॉलर्स थे। तो बस मैं यही सोचा कि मुझे कभी भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी वो चीज़ को ग्रैब करूँगा। देन मुझे सेकेंड टेस्ट में मौका मिला, तो वो चीज़ मतलब मैं जब मेलबर्न में जब कैप पहना तो आई वॉज डैड इधर रहते तो कितना
We're very proud of you, like all of us are very proud of you, Siraj. Thank you for being the champion that you are, and thank you for bowling the way that you bowl. It was very, very tough to do so, and there was just a lot of stuff going on in that tour that was away from just the ground itself. We're going to talk about the injuries, but Ajikya, I want to ask you about even the racial slurs that were being said, and that's never nice to hear, obviously. What was going on in the team then? How did you deal with that? The racial things being said by crowd members.
ऐसे कहीं भी नहीं होना चाहिए। और वो जब हुआ ग्राउंड पर एक दो बार पहले आके सिराज ने मुझे बताया था और जसप्रीत ने भी बताया था मुझे कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है। तो हमने जाके अंपायर से बात करी उस वक्त और उनको कहा कि रेसिज्म हो रहा है, हमारे बंदों को लोग ऐसे ऐसे कह रहे हैं। तो नेक्स्ट टाइम उन्होंने जाके कहा कि अगर वैसे दोबारा होता है तो आप हमें आके बताइए। तो हमने जब नेक्स्ट टाइम हुआ हमने उनको जाके बताया और बहुत बुरा लगा कि ऐसे सुन के, कभी सोचा नहीं था कि ऐसे होगा। स्पेशली हम जब अच्छा कर रहे थे और जब ऑस्ट्रेलियन क्राउड ने स्टार्ट किया रेसिज्म अब्यूज़ करना, सिराज मेरे पास आके उन्होंने कहा कि ऐसे ऐसे हुआ है। हमने जाके अंपायर से बात करी और कहा कि ऐसे ऐसे दोबारा हुआ है, आपको एक्शन लेना होगा, हम लोग तब तक गेम नहीं खेलेंगे। तो अंपायर का कहना ये था कि अगर आप गेम बंद नहीं कर सकते, अगर आपको अंदर जाना है ड्रेसिंग रूम में तो आप जा सकते हो। तो मेरी बातचीत यही थी कि उनसे कि हम यहाँ पर खेलने के लिए आए हैं, हमें अंदर जाके नहीं बैठना है। आपका काम है, जिन्होंने अब्यूज़ किया है उनको हटाइए, हम खेलने के लिए तैयार हैं, पर तब तक हम खेलेंगे, हम लोग ग्राउंड पे खड़े रहेंगे। फॉर मी इट वॉज इम्पोर्टेंट टू सपोर्ट माई कलीग ऑन द ग्राउंड, क्योंकि जो अभी बात करी हमने कि स्पेशली हिम जिस सिचुएशन में वो था ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ओवरकम करके आया और देन द वे ही प्लेड। So I thought that was important कि as a team we support him, but what happened in Sydney was completely wrong.
It absolutely was, but again, this is a story of overcoming all the odds, and they truly did in every regard. Neeraj sir, any questions that you have? I know you know the entire series and the story inside out. If you asked him a lot of the questions.
I'm through.
You're through with them. He's thorough with what he wants to do. But the fact is that we'd also want to ask them a few more questions. Just talking about the injuries now. किंग्स मतलब एक के बाद एक इंजर हो रहे हैं, बाहर जा रहे हैं, 11 बचे नहीं एंड में कि सिर्फ 11 बचे एंड में। व्हाट वाज इट लाइक एट द एंड टू चूज 11 एंड प्ले विद दैट?
एंड में बस में एक्चुअली देख रहा था टॉस जाने से पहले, मतलब ग्राउंड जब जा रहे थे कि एक्चुअली 11 है कि नहीं बस में। हर एक गेम में 2 बंदे इंजर हो रहे थे। पहले मैच में मोहम्मद शामी इंजर्ड हुए, उसके बाद उमेश, जडेजा, विहारी और अश्विन सिडनी टेस्ट मैच और बट इंजरी के साथ वो खेल रहे थे। पुजारा वॉज इंजर्ड इन बिटवीन इन सिडनी टेस्ट मैच और मैच के हर दिन फिजियो आके कहता था कि ये प्लेयर को कुछ निकल है, ये प्लेयर इंजर्ड हुआ है। और जब तक हम ब्रिस्बेन में पहुँचे, फिजियो मेरे पास 4 प्लेयर्स के नाम लेके आए थे, मैं और कोच उनके पास कि 4 प्लेयर्स हमारे इंजर्ड है और 2 प्लेयर्स को निकल है, उनको हम ठीक कर सकते हैं इंजेक्ट करके। तो हमने सोचा कि यार प्लेयर ही नहीं है और 3-4 दिन ही बचे थे टेस्ट मैच के लिए। तो हमने फिजियो से बात करी और उनको कहा कि अगर जो 2 प्लेयर्स उनको निकल है, अगर उनको इंजेक्ट करके हम ठीक करते हैं तो ठीक है, अगर प्लेयर्स 50-60% भी फिट है दैट्स फाइन, क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं था। जो नेट बॉलर्स भी आए थे वो भी ऑलरेडी टीम का पार्ट बन चुके थे और उनमें से 2 प्लेयर्स ने डेब्यू किया था उस सीरीज़ में। तो इट वॉज चैलेंजिंग, बट जस्ट ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म आई वांट टू गिव क्रेडिट टू फिजियोज एज वेल, क्योंकि उनका परफॉर्मेंस, उनका जो काम है अननोटिस चले जाता है, सारा क्रेडिट प्लेयर्स और उनको मिल जाता है जो स्क्रीन पे आपको दिखता है, लेकिन फिजियोज का जो काम था, जिस तरीके से उन्होंने प्लेयर्स के ऊपर फोकस किया, प्लेयर्स को ध्यान दिया, मुझे याद है 2 फिजियोज थे हमारे साथ, 2-3 रात सोए नहीं थे, प्लेयर्स को हमेशा बताते थे कि आप आइसिंग करो एवरी आवर, तो आई थिंक क्रेडिट गोज टू देम एज वेल, उन्होंने पूरी टीम खड़ी करी और सो थे मैच जो रिजल्ट हुआ, आई थिंक उनका क्रेडिट उनको भी जाता है.
Actually, round of applause for the physios, guys. Incredible work that you do. Both for anyone to answer, actually. Cheteshwar, you can answer. Going into the 4th test with the team that was there, did you give yourself a chance, and what were you thinking of them watching the team go inside play?
Well, we definitely had a chance. Yes, I mean they were the favourites to start off when we started off the test match. But the way the younger players performed in second and third test match, that gave us a lot of belief in the team. And yeah, we were very confident that we can put up a good show. Like on day one, you can't say that you can win this game. But the most important thing was to start the first and second session well. I mean, if you do well in the first couple of days, then you have that chance. And that's what we did. Our first session was really good. There, I think 2 or 3 down. I don't know exactly what was the score. But we kept picking wickets, and we restricted them to a reasonable total where we knew that we can get to that total. So with this squad, with the young players around who performed well in second and third test match, we thought that we had our chances. Maybe we are not the favourites, but what we, Ajinkya also spoke about this, what we spoke was to give our best and not think about the results. As long as we are giving our best, we are trying to play to our potential, and as long as we are confident of what we are doing, and if we could execute our game plans well, then we had our chances. And I think that is what happened. I think most of the young guys took a lot of responsibility, the way they've handled the pressure, which was remarkable. I think one of the best test matches I've been part of, and I haven't seen so many young players who have done well in a particular series, and that in the last particular test match. That was incredible.
Again, we keep the claps going, guys, because every answer is bringing back such beautiful memories. And Anumaji, आपसे पूछेंगे कि what's the one thing you will never forget about playing in this test series? The one thing you will keep in your heart always.
I think after the Sydney test, the walk back to the pavilion, that felt so satisfying. You're injured. Even Ashwin was not fit, and we both battled it out. And the walk back to the pavilion, although it was hurting a little bit, but the satisfaction and that feeling of saving a test match for India is incredible, and I'll cherish those moments and that memory for a lifetime.
Fabulous. सिराज, आपसे कोई आखिरी सवाल, वो एक यादगार पल जो सबसे ज्यादा आप अपने दिल के पास रखेंगे इस सीरीज को देखते हुए, कोई ऐसा पल?
जब मैं 5 विकेट हॉल लेके जब बॉल ऊपर करके जब जा रहा था, तो आई फील लाइक वो ड्रीम मेरे लिए, तो वो सबसे कभी नहीं भूल सकता वो चीज़. जब इतने प्लेयर इंजर्ड होने के बाद, जब पूरे यंगस्टर, बस खाली 3 प्लेयर सीनियर थे, बस उसके बाकी के पूरे यंगस्टर थे, तो वहाँ पर जाके परफॉर्मेंस करना इट्स लाइक अ ड्रीम.
वेल, उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये ड्रीम आप दोबारा फुलफिल करते रहें, क्योंकि आप में इतना टैलेंट है. Now they're out here on stage, but we have a special message for all of them from cross borders as well. So if we can turn around and look at our AV screen right now, there's a very special message for all of you, and it's by somebody who I think you played against. Cheteshwar will remember him a little more. Let's have a look at the AV screen, please.
G'day everyone over there in India. I'm sorry I can't be there for the launch of the documentary, but what an amazing series it was. The way it started in Adelaide. I think we Aussies thought we had it all wrapped up, and then obviously the fight that was shown through the second test, Rahane hitting a great 100 through SCG, and then to finish off with the gavel. It was a fantastic series to be part of. I thought the way the Indian side played, it was incredibly brave. Full credit to the players for being brave enough to go after a result at the Gabba. they could have just played out for a draw to retain the trophy. They went after the win. Fantastic series. Yeah, we were outplayed on our home turf, unfortunately, but you know, every Indian Australian Test series is always fantastic. Look forward to catching the documentary and seeing behind the scenes. G'day everyone over there in India. I'm sorry I can't be there.
I think it's on loop now.
Of the documentary. But
round of applause for him, guys. That's the opposition speaking volumes. पर ये ऐसा होता है ना, मैच के बाद हो जाता है, लेकिन मैच के दौरान जो होता है वो इंटेंसिटी एकदम अलग होती है.
एकदम अलग होता है. एक्चुअली ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ हमेशा से, अभी नहीं, ये सीरीज में नहीं, बहुत सालों से ऐसे चलते आ रहा है कि कैसे स्लेज करते हैं, और उनका बेसिकली ये गेम प्लान, ये जो स्ट्रैटेजी होती है कि इंडियंस भी बाकी जो जिसके भी साथ अगेंस्ट में खेलते हैं कि उनको मेंटली कैसे हम टैकल करें, उनका फोकस कैसे हटाया जाए. सिर्फ पुजारा का फोकस नहीं हटा सके हो, लेकिन बाकी सब कोशिश कर रहे थे कि फोकस कैसे हटाया जाए, लेकिन ऑन द फील्ड दे आर रियली नाइस, वेरी गुड पीपल.
I'll just add to that, Sameer, the interview that Payne and Cummins, both of them are part of this documentary, and it's obviously easier for them now to process that entire series in a different light, off the field and with time in hand. And the way they have spoken and sort of reviewed each of them is fantastic. They've, for Pujara especially, I mean, Payne went all out. And for Rahane, for Siraj, Ashwin, Pant, Vihari, I mean, these guys really spoke their heart out on the series. Because somewhere down the line, you cannot discount the love for the sport, I guess. So with time in hand, we had that opportunity to revisit them and have their take on this.
Amazing. And also, you know, they play so much of the IPL. You guys play so much of the IPL with these guys from the overseas quarters, and then, but it's like complete switch of gear the second you're at your home. It's a national, you know, war that's happening in terms of the cricket ground, and you're playing against each other. So you switch off ground पे IPL में दोस्त होते हैं, फिर जब वापस जाते हैं, फिर से switch over हो जाते हैं. ये कमाल का होता है मामला. But now, guys, what we're going to do out here is that we're going to have like an amazing throw of questions to you guys, where you guys can ask your questions, and we have a Q&A session that we're going to open up. There are about, I think, a few people who have, we're going to have a mic around that's going to be passed. So if anybody has a question, kindly please raise your hand from anywhere in the crowd and you can ask a question. There's a gentleman here, please. Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you for spending your valuable time with us. I have a question for all five of you and Neeraj sir as well. So please give me some time, guys. Don't be angry at me.
Depends how long the time. आप सवाल पूछ लीजिए पहले.
I'll not own the press conference that I guess. So I'll start one by one. Ajinkya, आपका एक statement आया था right after the series कि on field और off field जो आपने कुछ decisions लिए, उसका credit किसी दूसरे लोगों को दिया गया. तो what was it that you were actually upset about? को आप उस पर कुछ elaborate करना चाहेंगे? Were you in any sense referring to a joint press conference that was held by you and Ravi Shastri right after the series?
नहीं, जब उस वक्त मुझे बोलना था बोल दिया मैंने, तो मैं हमेशा प्रेजेंट में रहता हूँ. वो मोमेंट चला गया और जो स्टेटमेंट मैंने दिया था आप ऑनलाइन जाके चेक कर सकते हो कि क्या स्टेटमेंट था.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Ashwin, coming at you, obviously at me.
Yeah, be peaceful, brother. बंदों में दम है. You put Pujara in the middle.
You are looking like Thalaiva right now, so most probably we'll see a blockbuster, next blockbuster coming from Tamil Nadu, leading star. Ash, obviously, as Sameer also mentioned that you had verbal volleys with Kim Payne in the Sydney Test. So was it kind of an sort of an extra motivation that throughout the day on the final day of the Sydney Test? Did it act like that?
So actually, it happens a lot when everybody is cricketing career. I'm sure you can check with everybody. But the point is, when somebody is instigating you in such a situation, we both were battling ourselves in the middle. I went in and I told Vihari the first thing, I just hope they don't bowl anything full. I just hope they bowl short so that I can get hit and probably get away with it. And as we were battling through our own pains and looking at the scoreboard, the situation and all that, I think it was very fair. Even if I was Tim Payne wearing the gloves, I would have tried to, intimidate the opposition. It was very fair on his behalf to try and do that, but it sort of motivated me saying, okay, should not leave or get out in front of this guy. I shouldn't be a prey to his, verbal volley sort of a thing. And the moment I gave back, I felt like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that because it might take the concentration away. But then I started, just focusing a little harder to try and defend more tighter after that. So yeah, it happens all the time. I'm sure everybody has experienced it at different stages of their cricketing career. Yeah, very memorable, but good for us.
Well, 2 questions is enough. I think there are many more people who have to ask questions. They have a limited time, so we can pass the mic on. Thank you so much. Thank you. But later on, you can ask them if you can catch them outside. All right, next question.
Hi, my question is for Ashwin. I wanted to ask you about the racism incident. So you address it head on this time. The thing is, every time we go there, this kind of happens. And everyone condemns it, but it keeps on happening. Do you think we need to have that conversation in cricket a lot more, like it is being had in football right now?
I think we should have the conversation as a world. It's not just in cricket or any other sport. I don't think it has to do anything with a particular section of people in any particular country. Everywhere people do believe that they belong to a majority sort of a thing and they want to have a go at somebody else. And I think racism is one tip of it, one part of it, where they believe that is a area of differentiation with someone. I think the only solution to all this is better parenting and better awareness. Just by talking at maybe at the stage where we are in, or in a stage like this or an event like this, we wouldn't necessarily make a difference. But with awareness and talking about it on a regular basis and better parenting right from the childhood, we can make the difference. So I think it's not about a certain country or a certain ground. Yes, it's happened at that place a lot more, but it was courageous of him to bring it out. So at least a wider section of the people know, and probably the people sitting next to such people in the ground might pull them up a lot better from the next time. So it is something that one must condemn. But I want to bring it to notice that everywhere people are differentiating people on different grounds, which is definitely not right.
So
Thank you for your question, buddy. We'll pass it on. There are more people who have to ask as well. Thank you. Hello. Please give your name and then ask the question.
Hi, Ajinkya, this is Vishal Ambani. मेरा सवाल आपसे है, जो एडिलेड टेस्ट में हुआ 36 for 9 और ऑस्ट्रेलिया 8 विकेट से जीती, एंड कमिंग बैक टू मेलबर्न, काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन था. आपने फर्स्ट इनिंग में विराट और आपके बीच में रन आउट भी हुआ, एंड विराट के फैंस ने काफ़ी आपको ट्रोल भी किया था, और विराट फिर वहाँ से इंडिया आ गए और फिर आपने कैप्टनसी निभाई. सो वॉज इट डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू? हाउ यू हैव टेकन दैट चैलेंज?
मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि मुझे ट्रोल किया गया. मैं सोशल मीडिया से कंप्लीट ऑफ. सीरीज़ के दौरान या सीरीज़ से पहले मैं कंप्लीट स्विच ऑफ कर देता हूँ. एक्चुअली मुझे आइडिया नहीं था कि फैंस ने क्या कहा है. जो मोमेंट्स हम दोनों गुजरे उस वक्त, उससे ज़्यादा दुख आई डोंट थिंक किसी और को हुआ होगा, क्योंकि विराट रन आउट होने के बाद जितना दुख उनको हुआ रहेगा उससे ज़्यादा दुख मुझे हुआ था, क्योंकि जिस सिचुएशन में हम थे उस टेस्ट मैच में, आई थिंक वो मोमेंट के बाद टेस्ट मैच कम्प्लीटली चेंज हो गया. सो फैंस ने क्या किया मुझे नहीं पता था, बट वो सिचुएशन से और वो मोमेंट से हम दोनों को बहुत दुख हुआ था.
नीरज जी, मेरा एक और सवाल आपसे है. आप इसका टाइटल बंदों में था दम, हमारे बंदों में तो अभी भी है सर, तो बंदों में है दम ऐसा क्यों नहीं रखा सर आपने?
नहीं, ये एक आपने जो कहा कि विराट के फैंस अजिंक्य को ट्रोल किया ना, वही सवाल था ना आपका?
Yes.
I hope that
not only Virat fans, because Virat, जिस तरह से विराट का लास्ट
that was obviously the center of your question. What I was trying to say is nothing against you. Yeah. I just hope, I think Virat's fans are also Ajinkya's fans.
Right.
So I think we'll pass the question now. Next person. Next person.
One second.
So brother, you've asked. There are many more people who have to ask. Many more people who have to ask. Please. पीछे वहाँ पर. हाँ जी.
नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं नीरज, आपको आप फिल्म बना रहे हैं और काफ़ी महान कलाकार हैं. मैं संदीप मेरड़नाव से. नीरज, मेरा सवाल स्पेसिफिकली आपसे ये है कि जो क्रिकेट इन्होंने खेला है, जो मैच इन्होंने ड्रॉ किए, जो जिताए हैं, वो पहले से ही दर्ज हैं. आप इस प्रकार की डॉक्यूमेंट्री बना करके क्या अलग कर रहे हैं, और वो भी OTT वूट पर आप बना रहे हैं, तो अलग क्या कर रहे हैं आप? इसमें क्या दर्शाना चाह रहे हैं?
3 चीज़ों से कहानी बनती है: व्हाट, हाउ एंड व्हाई. व्हाट हैपेंड वो ये सबको पता है। हमारा जो प्रयास था वो ये था कि हाउ एंड वाई को एड्रेस किया जाए। ये इतना आसान नहीं है कि आप सिर्फ बॉल टू बॉल क्रिकेट देखते हैं, आपको लगता है आपको पूरी कहानी पता चल गई है। उसके पीछे का जो मानसिकता होती है, एक टीम कैसे बिल्ड होती है, वो टीम किन सर्कमस्टांसेस में अपने आप को खड़ा करती है और किन दिक्कतों के अगेंस्ट जाकर जो है वो जीत हासिल करती है, यही प्रयास था हमारा। और मेरे ख्याल से आपको सिर्फ रिजल्ट का पता है, प्रोसेस का नहीं, और ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री जो है आपको उस दिशा में लेकर जाए।
इसी से जुड़ा हुआ एक ही सवाल है, समीर माफी चाहता हूँ। आप डॉक्यूमेंट्री के अलावा एक फिल्म बना सकते थे। क्रिकेट पर फिल्में बनी हैं, लोगों पर फिल्में बनी हैं, सीरीज पर
खुद भी बनाई है।
हाँ जी,
मैंने खुद भी बनाई है।
हाँ जी, आपने ही बनाई है। मैं वही कह रहा हूँ, आप फिल्म बना सकते थे। आपने इस प्रकार की डॉक्यूमेंट्री को ही क्यों चुना?
नहीं, फिल्म बना ली ना, तो इस बार डॉक्यूमेंट्री बना ली, अगली बार दोबारा फिल्म बना देंगे। उनकी मर्जी, डायरेक्टर वो है।
टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, बड़ा वाजिब सवाल है आपका। पॉइंट ये है कि ये अपने आप में मेरे ख्याल से इतना बड़ा माइलस्टोन है, और ये पूरा 4 टेस्ट का जो सीरीज है वो अपने आप में इतनी बड़ी एक स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट है कि मेरे ख्याल से इसको रिक्रिएट करना विल बी एन इनजस्टिस टू द एक्चुअल गेम दैट हैपेंड। एंड there is no taking away any sheen from the players that were involved. There were 20 players involved from the Indian team in those 4 test matches, and it's not that it happens in every series. So